Hi, everyone. I'm Erni, a Senior Technical Program Manager in Global Skilling at Microsoft. Last year, the upskilling conversation centered on workforce transformation. How do we help people build confidence with AI? Today, that conversation has expanded into work transformation. How do we redesign the way work gets done so AI can create real impact? For builders, the challenge is clear. It's not just knowing that AI is available, it's knowing how to apply it to the job in front of you. That is the gap this experience is designed to close. AI Skills Navigator is Microsoft's official destination for AI and Copilot upskilling, bringing together Microsoft Learn content, skilling sessions, credentials, LinkedIn Learning, and trusted YouTube videos all in one place. And with the learning agent in DEM351 Copilot, that learning can show up in the flow of work, helping people move from their work task to relevant upskilling based upon their role, goals, and context. My co-presenter, Shree, is joining me to walk through it end to end. To ground this in something relatable, picture Zava, a global enterprise standing up an AI platform team. Shree is going to play an engineering lead at Zava who needs to ramp his team to ship a production-grade agent. I'll then jump in as one of his developers. Shree, over to you.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm Shreenidhi. I'm one of the engineering managers who helped build the AI Skills Navigator. And for today's session, I will take the role of an engineering lead who is interested with upskilling his team to be a AI or production-ready agent. My team is also responsible for building internal agents, connecting to SharePoint, to different connectors within our ecosystem. All right, let's switch to the demo. I just started with the home page. I still haven't signed in, but I can already see that there are content which are segregated by the levels across different roles. Developer is the one which I'm more interested in. So as I keep scrolling through the content, I see there is a rich content from AI-assisted coding, build and orchestrate agents, and agentic DevOps. Now, this gets me to the next page, the next part of the session, which is, now let's take a look at our logged in or the signed in user flow. Now I've already onboarded. The onboarding was pretty light. I just had to, still a lot of issues. I see that there are some problems with the way it is showing up. It's all lines. This looks okay, but this doesn't. I'll walk you through the two lightweight roles. One is the roles of interest, where I have chosen AI engineer and data scientist as my roles. And there are other slew of roles which are available to choose between. The other option is the learning preferences, which essentially is you want to choose to be more of a visual, or it's a reading, or hands-on, or interactive. Those are the options which you have from the learning preferences. Now let's hop on to these references are essentially the ones which determine the personalization of the content. Now remember that I just chose AI engineer as one of the options, and I already see some content in the personalization or the For You page, which talks about how do I generate tests in AI, evaluate generative AI applications, creating machine learning models, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Now, this is great. So far, I have been looking at the recommendation based on my profile. If I want to, but my options are much broader in terms of the content. So I'll switch over to the Explore Content section, which again, as I was walking through the home page, it gives a good segregation of the content curations by levels. It also does have expert voices the industry trusted folks being part of the ASN or AI Skills Navigator. And at the bottom, we have this filter, which is essentially the various modalities which are available in our ecosystem. Most of you might have been very familiar with MS Learn's learning path, modules, the credentials, LinkedIn learning content, skilling session, and videos. Now, we have been talking about a lot of personalization. Now, my responsibility as a lead at Zava today is to switch over to skilling sessions. And team skilling is one of the features which is available in AI Skills Navigator, where you could essentially have a chat, you can interact with the agent, and based on the objectives and the goals and the time constraints which your team has, we can essentially curate a playlist. Now I'll switch over to the section where I have already created one, but I do want to walk us through the details. So the thing which I'm trying to do, as I was saying, is upskill my team to ship production agent on Microsoft 365 Copilot. And I have given the responses on what it needs to be leveraging, Microsoft Graph and SharePoint connectors, as well as to evaluate the agent in Foundry, Azure Microsoft Foundry, and instrument telemetry with Power BI. And this assumes mid-level developers. 4 weeks is what we have as a time, and 8 hours per week. Now, what I want us to walk through is a reasoning on how we came up with the skilling session, which I'll walk through a little more. So it essentially identified the objective and the skill plan goal based on the prompt which I just provided. It then went on to identify the different skilling topics based on it. And finally, it went with searching all of the content within our catalog to stitch through the playlist itself. I'll switch over to the final generated playlist. I already generated the playlist. And as you can see, there are multiple sections. The first section is Copilot Agent, Studio Agent Design and Lifecycle. The second one is grounding with Microsoft Graph and SharePoint connectors. The third section essentially talks about the evaluation, and the fourth about the telemetry and the monitoring. Now, this is great. I'll go ahead and assign this to Matt, who is going to be one of the developers on my team. Matt, over to you.
Okay. Have you assigned it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to look in my teams.
You just need to send it.
Okay. We go here.
Mm-hmm.
And post that.
Yeah.
All right. Shree just posted that. And now I'm going to see that in my teams, right? And so I'll jump into this assigned playlist. And you can see here, Shree has invited me to accept this, this playlist. I can go in, accept that invitation, and that will welcome me into the same playlist that Shree had created. So now, you know, I'm a developer, right? And so I'm not necessarily going to spend all day, right, going through the playlist, but I might want to kind of get oriented, see what's here, and maybe, you know, kind of look for some beginning level content. So I'll jump into this this module, and you know, this is a Learn module. It's about building agents in Copilot Studio, and many Learn modules can have a lot of text, right, which is very helpful and useful. But I actually would like to try doing a podcast and listen to this as I'm walking to my next meeting. So I'll go ahead and select this. And actually, I need to plug in the audio. And so we'll give it a play. You can get a sense of what it does.
I don't think it's audio.
Okay, the audio is not working. Well, if you could hear it, right, it's actually been generated with 2 different voices, so it's a conversational podcast. It's not like text-to-speech, right? It's grounded in the actual module, and it's giving me about a 5-minute summary of the full module, so I can get the kind of the key takeaways and understand what it's about, listen to it while I'm doing other stuff, right? So I love this. I want to do all my learning in podcasts. But that's not what Shree gave me. I have some other things in there. So if I go back to my playlist, you can see also a YouTube video here on Copilot Studio fundamentals. And these are all the videos. They are curated from Microsoft official YouTube channels. And a lot of people like to learn from videos, so we're really excited that we have a deep catalog to support them in that. I'll just go back again, and I want to take a look at this one, Introduction to Agentic AI Business Solution Architecture. It's a skilling session. And if I go ahead and start the session, what's cool about this is it is not just a video. It's a hybrid between sort of a digital learning experience with the structure and support you'd get in a classroom, but in a virtual fashion. So if I'll mute that. And so we have an AI virtual trainer here that's hosting the session. And there's also a skilling session coach here on the right-hand side. The skilling session coach is grounded in the content of this course. It's an expert in that, and also on Microsoft Learn content. So it can use that knowledge to actually nudge me through, do knowledge checks, answer my questions about the course. It's aware of where I am, how far I've progressed in the course. So if I have specific questions relevant to where I am, it'll help me with that. Another cool feature within this is, I can, at a certain point in the course, it will actually check my knowledge. So I'm just trying to get there. Let's see here. And you can see it's nudged me, right? Hey, do I want a quick recap? But also, because I've reached a point in the section of the skilling session, it has a knowledge check for me, right? So I can, check in. It kind of helps emphasize what I've learned. And if I have a specific question that I want to ask, let's say, these don't look right. This one. The coach is usually pretty quick about responding. We'll try it once more just to see. Yeah, there we go. And so it's going to give me a nice response to what I want to know about this course, and this is all available. So next up, Shree was just letting me know about something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I found something really interesting. So let me go ahead and...
So Shree had let me know that there's this new thing called the Learning Agent in Copilot. And so we're really excited about this because not everything is in a structured path, like a playlist, right? There is definitely going to be situations where I need to learn something in the middle of my work, right? And I want to have a question, I want to go, and I don't necessarily know where to go to find it, right? So that's where the Learning Agent and M365 Copilot comes in. So I can open the team directly in M365 Copilot, where I'm already, generating design documents, summarizing them, drafting them, and it's right in the agent rail. This agent is actually generally available as of today, so it's available to all M365 Copilot users, and organizations can deploy it to light up richer capabilities like enterprise content sources, admin-led upskilling, and there's also some agent reporting included in the agent as well. Also, I'm excited to share the AI Skills Navigator content, which I'm going to demo for you today, is coming soon. So that will be coming up shortly. And also the learning agent will be coming available in Copilot Chat in the near future as well. But if I start from the agent home, I think what's really cool is all the diverse starter prompts that appear here. These are using work IQ, right, based on the skills that I've provided. I've given myself a learning profile where I've identified the skills that I want to learn, and my recent activity is shown here as well. And I can see task recommendations, something that's based in what I'm doing at work using work IQ. The skills that I've selected, I'm seeing some starters. And other options like getting credentials or practicing with AI. So there's a lot that you can do in this experience to really grow your learning. There's a lot of, depending on how you like to learn, there's a lot to offer. So one example might be, hey, if I want to watch videos about AI prompting, the learning agent is going to look across its full source, right? So AI Skills Navigator, but also sources like LinkedIn Learning or enterprise sources, and come up with some nice recommendations to help find learning. If I go back here, and there's a recommendation in here to do deepen your learning with applied skills, right? So I can actually go ahead and select that, and I should get some recommendation back on applied skills. This agent is searching across all the different options that are available, right? And pulling in the recommendations here. So I've got a previously filled response here. And so there's a number of different options available here, but I'm interested in the applied skill to create an AI agent. So if I jump out to that takes me straight to AI Skills Navigator, and I can do an applied skill, which is an immersive, hands-on, lab-based assessment that shows you know something because you can do it, essentially. So those are pretty high value. Now, learning doesn't stop, right? It should lead somewhere. And so that's where credentials come in, right? Because I can use them to validate and showcase my growth to my leadership, to my team. I can prove that I know something by getting a credential. AI Skills Navigator has the full Microsoft catalog of credentials. Many of these you'd recognize from MS Learn. If I do a quick search in here for agent, let's say, right? For our use case, right, I'm pretty interested in the credentials that are relevant to my team. So I can see Copilot and Agent Administration Fundamentals. There's Create Agents in Microsoft Copilot Studio, the AI Agent Builder Associate, or Azure AI Apps and Agents Developer Associate. A lot of these are newly updated and available now. So I'm going to go and actually I'm interested in this one. So if I open that one up, I can see information about what roles it's targeting, what skills are included in this, and I can go to Microsoft Learn and view more details about it, including preparation, practice exams, and actually sign up to take the exam, all from here. For me, as a developer, this is how skilling turns into something I can point to. I just took the training, but here's the credential that says that I can do it, I can ship it. These are, I'm very excited about getting a credential. So Shree, you want to show how it looks across the whole team?
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt. And for the last part, we are going to be looking into, the team has been doing great. They have been tracking the progress. They have been consuming the content. But as a lead, I would love to understand how the team is, how it's landing, how the playlist is landing, rather than just looking at the content being consumed and checked. Now, this is where a view shared progress kind of shows up, one across the specific skilling playlist. Now, there are some progress which I did over the while I was curating it, which essentially gives me a quick look through on where the progress is and where I'm stuck, as in my team is stuck. The same thing applies for Matt. As Matt has been taking, I see that he has started with some of the fundamentals, and if I see that he needs support, this would be the time where I would intervene. So this is about how the curriculum is mapped. And playlists are essentially, you can draw parallels to a sprint, where you have 4 weeks of sprint, or 2 weeks, 2 sprints spread across 4 weeks, and you're just tracking this across the week over week, where we know how the team is progressing and how it is tracking against the deliverable. For us, the eventual deliverable is to get it ship ready or build an agent which is production ready. All right. Let's move back to our build. All right, just a quick recap of what we just saw. We saw the AI Skills Navigator, which is our official Microsoft content repository for skilling. It has Microsoft learning paths, modules, applied skills, certifications, skilling sessions, and LinkedIn content. It does have an AI-assisted playlist authoring tool, which is catalog aware and helps build a sprint-aligned curriculum for deliverable. It does have learning agent. We just spoke about the learning agent in the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Now let's look at some of the next steps in terms of or where we can go with. The first call to action is essentially please sign into AI Skills Navigator, register, create your own profile, morph your profiles to get the recommendations which are specific to you and personalized for you. And in the next one, we are just going to talk about a Skills Fest. That's another, please register. This is an upcoming event starting June 8th to 12th. The registrations are open. Please register, and this would be a pretty good best next step for keeping the momentum going. With that, I think we are just about time, and we are done. All right, thanks everyone.